Now at 6, COVID cases overwhelm some Missouri hospitals. Plus, a new testing site in Webb City aims to give four-staters a quick and free way to know if they have the virus. And
the Betty White Challenge is encouraging people to make donations to their favorite animal shelter. I'm Chris Warner with how special those donations are and why they're needed every day.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
Hospitals in Missouri's biggest cities are blaming Omicron for increasing strain on health systems. This is KOAM News at 6. Virus hospitalizations have risen sharply across Missouri in recent weeks. Thursday, hospitalizations hit 3,526 total. That's more than 700 cases higher than last year's peak. The head of the Mercy Transfer Center in St. Louis says her hospital has had to frequently turn down transfer requests from smaller hospitals that are becoming overwhelmed with the virus. Last week, local health professionals told us they'd seen an increase in hospitalizations, but so far they're keeping up with the workload. As case numbers increase, so does the demand for testing. To meet that demand, Ivy Medical Center, a free COVID-19 testing site in Webb City. The Ivy Medical site provides free rapid antigen tests which deliver results in 15 to 30 minutes, in addition to PCR tests, which take 24 to 72 hours for results.
Now we're definitely got the pace going. I'd say max an hour, just depending on the flow of traffic and how much comes through here, but we're knocking them out pretty quick now.
The Ivy Medical Testing Site is open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's at 115 North Madison in Webb City. Got quite a thaw today. Checking in with Nick Kelly.
And a lot more sunshine to go along with it, Dow. After we were stuck with stubborn fog, mist, and overcast skies the other day, it was nice to see more open blue skies and a nice looking sunset from our live shot at 7th and Rangeline. We had mostly clear skies, thankfully, back in play all day long. That's how we're starting this evening out. I am watching, however, our next cold front building across southern Canada, just across the border from Montana. That system won't get here until Wednesday, so we got enough time to enjoy at least a little more quiet time and a little bit more of a thaw. But we are trending back downward as far as temperatures go. Mid to upper 30s on the Missouri side and pretty much lower to middle 40s across the rest of the region. It feels a little bit cooler because of our south breeze, and it has lightened up a bit now at 5 to 10 miles per hour. But that breeze with clouds trying to work back in overnight means we're not going to drop off very much tonight. We'll be in the upper 30s for much of the evening, lows in the lower to middle 30s for tonight, Dow. We've got a milder Tuesday ahead of us before we cool right back down for Wednesday. We'll break down the forecast here in a bit.
See you then. The chairman of the Oklahoma Pardon and Parole Board, who was consistently voted to spare the lives of death row inmates, he's resigning at the request of the governor. Adam Luck wrote in his resignation letter that he was stepping down so Governor Kevin Stitt could appoint someone more aligned with his support for the death penalty. Stitt announced he was replacing Luck with Edward Konixny, a former police officer and head of the Episcopal Diocese of Oklahoma. Today would have been Betty White's 100th birthday. In honor of that, the Betty White Challenge has taken social media by storm. KOAM's Chris Warner tells us what that is and how it's having an impact locally.
The hashtag Betty White Challenge has been circulating on social media for weeks now. It challenged everyone to donate $5 to their favorite animal shelter or rescue in honor of the late Betty White on what would have been her 100th birthday.
We think it's a really neat way for people to honor such an amazing woman by helping not just our shelter, but other shelters in the area.
Joplin Humane Society's Shelter Service Manager, Tiana Fisher, says this day is one of many essential to their operations.
Our shelter runs on donations, so it's extremely important to us to receive those donations. All of our dog food and cat food is completely donated.
As for what the donated dog and cat food goes, well, that's pretty self-explanatory. As for the monetary donations,
the monetary donations goes towards taking care of the animals, towards shots and spaying and neutering, and just making sure that they have everything that they need to get into a forever home and be successful.
While the Humane Society is grateful for a special day of donations, Fisher says it's not the only time they need help.
Donations are definitely needed year-round. We are very fortunate here in Southwest Missouri to have an amazing community who always steps up and helps when we are in need, and we really, really appreciate them for all of their support.
In Joplin, Chris Warner, KOAM News.
So far, the Joplin Humane Society has raised more than $2,000 just through Facebook. Fort Scott Community College is honoring the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The 3-day-long event at the Gordon Parks Museum wrapped up today.
We're showing some of the films on the civil rights movement during that time period, and also we're having a day of service. So Martin Luther King Day, yes, is a day off, but we consider it a day on too. So we're doing a camp food drive and non-perishable items too as well to give to our local food pantry, the Beacon Food Pantry here in Fort Scott, Kansas.
Gordon Parks Museum hosted screenings of the films Eyes on the Prize, American Civil Rights, and Martin, a tribute to Dr. King, written and directed by Gordon Parks. Still ahead, a local artist puts a little bit of Chiefs Kingdom into a helmet for a young boy dealing with a neck disorder. And 2 games in one day, how Donna Kelsey was able to see both of her sons play in person in the postseason. Kansas City family says they're grateful for a local artist who made a custom helmet for their boy who has a neck condition. And the artist added a special touch for the family who are die-hard Kansas City Chiefs fans. Joyeon Kim reports.
I've always been in Kansas City and always been a Chiefs fan.
The fandom started with Nancy Walker's dad and now runs in their family 4 generations strong.
Ryder, do you have a favorite football?
He probably...
Through all the team's wins and losses, Nancy always stuck by her Chiefs.
I just love this. You get started in it and you can't put it down.
So it only made sense to turn to the kingdom when life threw her family a curveball.
They always want to kind of make sure that the other one's close by.
Identical twins Jet and Hayden were born 7 weeks premature. Doctors diagnosed them with flat spots and torticollis, a condition that causes their neck muscles to tighten.
Because of that, eventually in the future, like helmets won't fit correctly, sunglasses, anything that deals with their head, things won't fit properly.
Wearing helmets like this early on can help correct it as they grow. Jet can now take his off.
The struggle, I think, to get these little babies here and have them healthy, and then knowing that they had... I'm getting emotional now.
With her love for anything Chiefs, Nancy reached out to Cynthia Burris, a local artist and Chiefs fan who agreed to make Hayden a customized piece.
It was challenging, but it was rewarding. It was something that I knew was really special to them. And it was special to me too, because it kind of brought me out of my painting shell.
Cynthia tells me she sees it as a symbol of positivity during an otherwise difficult time.
When they're out in public, I think sometimes people look and like, ooh, what's going on there? And I just think with it customized, it kind of just takes that away. And people are like, oh, wow, that's cute. And they don't, kind of look at it as a negative. I mean, she just really went above and beyond.
The Walkers' favorite team, of course, played the Steelers in the wild card round last night. Danny's going to have more on that blowout in sports. But first, one of the big reasons behind the Chiefs' success is, of course, future Hall of Fame tight end Travis Kelce. Football talent runs in the family. Maybe you weren't aware, Travis's brother Jason Kelce is the center for the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles also played in the playoffs last night, creating a dilemma for the Kelce family, specifically mom. Donna Kelce played double duty last night, appearing in Tampa to watch Jason and then flying out to Kansas City to watch Travis. That's a lot of work for a very devoted mom.
And it's very difficult when they're both playing football at the same time on the same day.
That's devotion to their children. That's impressive.
That's very impressive. Go her.
Now, unfortunately for Donna, the Kelseys were 1-1 yesterday. Jason's Eagles lost to the Buccaneers. But later, Travis and the Chiefs took care of business last night. Danny Terzer will have a recap of that game coming up in sports.
Plus, we'll turn a little bit warmer for our Tuesday before another cold snap heads our way fairly soon. We'll break it all down next. Mother Nature may have been about a day late, but better late than never to get the sunshine back in action as we got this new work week underway. And again, it was all the more refreshing, and it just felt good in general considering how we were only in the upper 20s to lower 30s across much of the area the other afternoon because of the stubborn cloud cover, the fog, the mist that would not budge. Fortunately, it did clear out late last night, very early this morning, so we went from the mid-20s this morning into the mid to upper 40s around the Joplin area. That is certainly better numbers to start the week out with, and fortunately, we'll go a little warmer tomorrow. Still chilly, but we'll stay dry for Tuesday with highs bouncing back briefly, unfortunately, into the upper 50s. I say briefly because we have our next front on the way for Wednesday. I'm watching rain chances, maybe a little wintry precip possible with that, but its main job overall will be to bring another cold snap our way, certainly by the time Thursday and Friday rolls around. But the last of the sun's rays, finally nice to see that again from 7th and Range line from the east side of Joplin. Joplin's regional sitting at 39. Same goes for downtown with the south wind at 7, making it feel like 34 degrees outside. But everybody's doing okay as far as temperatures go. Mid-30s to about 40 on the Missouri side. Then our corners of Kansas and Oklahoma has a range from about 40 to the upper 40s, certainly warmer the farther west you go across the region. Fortunately, these numbers won't drop off very much throughout the night because even though we have clear skies now and a light south breeze at about 5 to 10 miles per hour, that breeze will keep at it through the night, and with cloud cover increasing overnight, that means we'll only go into the upper 30s for the rest of the evening, down to the lower to middle 30s. That's as cold as it's going to get, with thankfully a change in the weather setup on the way for Tuesday. Not much to show, thankfully, and finally, after a cloudy and kind of gloomy Sunday. At the surface, we got a warm front passing to the north. That will also help with warming things up again tomorrow. But we've got our next cold front across the Canadian border. And on top of that, there's a little bit of energy in the upper levels sitting across California. Both of those will come into play on Wednesday, but none of them come into play for tomorrow, certainly during the overnight hours. We're going to keep skies mostly clear to start the overnight out, and you can see how temperatures just don't budge very much. Mainly most of us lower, mid-30s, but the cloud cover will build throughout the course of the day, partly sunny by the start of the afternoon, then I think mostly cloudy skies. But again, that does not change the fact that temperatures will go a little warmer compared to today. 36 in the morning, 51 by noon. I'm expecting highs near 55, and I certainly think we can do it with the south wind at 10 to 20 miles per hour. We may stay quiet going into Tuesday evening, but here's Wednesday morning. The warmest will be because here comes that cold front, keeping cloud cover in play. But the moisture being picked up along the front could result in some light rain chances along and south of Interstate 44. Then, depending on how much moisture wants to stick around as temperatures drop into the 30s and 20s for tomorrow afternoon, make that Wednesday afternoon, could result in a little burst of light snow or light freezing rain. Shouldn't amount to much, maybe a glaze of ice, maybe a dusting of snow. That's something we'll still watch as we go through the next 36 hours or so. But again, the main purpose of that front is to send another cold snap our way. From 55 Tuesday to dropping into the 20s for Wednesday, mid-20s Thursday, mid-30s Friday. Then we're back in the 40s with mainly a quiet weekend ahead of us, Dal.
We'll look forward to those 40s come the weekend for sure.
Yes, we will.
Thanks, Nick. Coming up in sports, the Chiefs roll by the Steelers and advance to the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. And College Heights and Columbus hit the floor in the first game of the Southeast Lancer Classic. Danny Terzer has the highlights next.
Nick Kelly, prove it. Joplin, Springfield.
The Southeast Lancer Classic begins today for the girls. All 8 teams are local, a mix of Kansas and Missouri high schools. In the first game of the day, College Heights hits the floor against Columbus. First quarter, Ava Harmon to Jade Fouts. She gets it to drop. Then Maddie Collin from the corner hits the 3, but the Cougars trail. Columbus gets the offensive board here, and Katie Mooney puts it in for 2. Other way now, Jaylee Johnson calls her own number, knocks down the triple. She finishes with a team-high 18 points. Columbus leads by 1 at half. After the break, Mooney gets the steal, finishes on the other end, 11 points for her. Columbus gets by College Heights in the opening round, 43-40. The Pittsburgh Purple Dragons are hosting the Bill Hansen Memorial Tournament this week. Game kicks off for the boys and the girls on Thursday. 5 local schools are competing in this year's tournament. The field is extremely competitive for both the boys and the girls. 7 teams are ranked and 2 of those are number 1 in their state. The Pittsburgh boys will be one of the teams to beat. They're 7-1 and ranked 10th in 5A in Kansas. And head coach Jordan Woods expects these games to prepare his team for continued success down the road.
It's just a great opportunity for our kids because we are a 5A program, so a lot of times it's kind of difficult for us to see the competition that we need to face to make a run late in the year. So this tournament gives us a great opportunity to see teams that are very talented. Right now, the Christian Braun kid is playing at KU, and there's quite a few players that have played in the NCAA tournament that have played in our tournament as well.
The Pittsburgh boys play Owasso in the opening round on Thursday at 7 p.m. And for the second time, Kansas City stopped the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Chiefs beat the Steelers 42-21 in the wild card round on Sunday, and they will advance to play at home in the divisional round against the Bills. It was a rocky start for the Chiefs, but then came the fireworks. After a turnover, Patrick Mahomes threw 3 straight touchdown passes in the final 6 minutes of the second quarter. And after the break, the Chiefs scored 3 more to make it 6 straight possessions that ended in a touchdown. They made it even more fun to watch by adding some creativity to their play calling.
I thought we had great communication today, especially after the first quarter, and we saw the different coverages that they were playing. We kind of settled into of how we were going to attack it. And so we did a great job of figuring that out and then executing the rest of the game. But, yeah, I mean, it's my favorite time of the year, the playoffs, because those guys, Coach Reed, EB, Kafka, they go into the arsenal of finding these plays that we kind of haven't ran the entire season that go off the stuff that we've done so far. And so to be in the game and get to see the game plan when you come in on that Monday, Tuesday, it makes you super excited for the game on Sunday.
That's a look at sports. We're back after this.
What a new only at Roper Honda.
Take some time now to honor a local veteran of the U.S. Marine Corps. Roy Wisenhunt served with the Howitzer Division from 1954 to 1956, and then later with the reserves. The Carl Junction, Missouri native performed calculations to pinpoint strikes. He received a National Defense Service Medal. And we are proud to salute Roy Wisenhunt, a 4-state hero. You can learn about lots of other heroes from all across this area, more than likely heroes from your own hometown. You can also nominate a hero of your own anytime. It's very simple. You just go to our website, click on the link, koamnewsnow.com. NASA is crediting so-called citizen scientists who they say helped with a huge discovery in space. This is an illustration of a new planet discovered when the agency says the citizen scientists collaborated with professional astronomers. NASA says the planet is about the same size as Jupiter, but with about 3 times the mass. It's pretty far away. It's about 379 light years from Earth and is currently orbiting a star with the same mass as our sun. The citizen scientists were able to help NASA pin down the planet's size and mass and track it. They did this through online volunteer projects that allow anyone to look through NASA telescope data for signs of planets beyond our solar system. So crowdsourcing the search for planets outside of our own solar system.
Pretty
How about
cool.
that? Yeah, you would think that maybe computers would do that, but I guess some things just better left to human beings.
Yeah.
The weather.
Yeah, it's not looking bad for this evening. Cold tonight, but only mid-30s this go around. 55 tomorrow, but a cold front Wednesday brings the chill back in and maybe a chance for rain, maybe winter precip as well.
Final sports note.
Lots of high school basketball tournaments going on this week. Columbus beat College Heights in the Southeast Lancer Classic today.
Very good. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here for KOAM News at 10. Let's make it a great evening.
service is provided by the